All right, good evening.
Evening.
We're going to call the monthly meeting for the Ypsilanti Police Advisory Commission to order at 7:03. And do roll call. Do it. Present.
Commissioner Monroe.
Present.
Roll call. Commissioner Humes.
Present.
We have quorum. I make a motion that we excuse Commissioner Wolkoff and Commissioner Mohammed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we were given a copy of the agenda. If everyone could take a look at it, it's really light today, but if there's any need for any changes. The agenda,
Good.
if it looks fine, we'll go ahead and approve it, but take a minute to look over it, see if we have any changes or additions. All right. And I'll make a motion that we will approve the agenda as written. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the minutes. We have actually 2 months of minutes because last month they were not available to us. I know we have some new members and they may not be on the earlier minutes, but if you could just peruse them quickly and see if there's anything that's out of order. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and approve those. Any concerns with the minutes as written? Everybody have a chance to check them out? Take your time. Commissioner Monaco,
Good.
Commissioner Humes,
No change.
Commissioner Seifer. All right, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for our meetings held on September 26, 2024 and October 24th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Do we have anybody online? All right, then we shall move right along. Some discussion items. Month. It's been a proposal to change it from December 19th to December 5th.
That date comes at the recommendation of the clerk's office, that it's the other available Thursday in the month. I have the calendar available, if you want to determine a different date. Following Thursday is on.
So it would be the
26.
no, it would be the 5th or nothing. 26, I don't believe Chambers is open.
Nope.
Is Thursday the only day that the group would be able to meet?
I'm available any day.
And my Fridays are open as well, but Thursday works for me.
Okay. I will definitely not be in attendance next month. So.
Is there a better day for you?
February.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Any opposition to December 5th? That's just gonna be what, 2 weeks from today? Which wouldn't be bad timing because there's a couple things that we need to work on. Commissioner Wolkoff is putting together the annual report for city council. And then there's also some goals that we need to think about for this coming year, 2025. So
And you won't be here for the 5th, right?
nor will Eric.
Both of you.
So with no chair or vice chair, who runs the meeting? Okay.
The first person that volunteers.
Okay. Not me.
I think if Commissioner Wolkoff is here, she has tons of experience
Okay, great.
running the meeting and she would have no problem with it.
Okay.
Herman, you're pondering.
Yeah, my question though is, with the two of you and Eric, with the kind of experience and the knowledge that you have, will we be in a position, we have a couple of new people, to make some decisions about some of the things that we got to look forward to in 2025? And not take into consideration or have an opportunity to take information from you two. So it would be, for me, it would be a waste.
Is it, do I have the potential to join via Zoom? The possibility? Okay.
But she could discuss, she could be part of the discussions and that kind of thing, right? Okay. All right.
And then on top of that, even if you can't attend via Zoom, you could always email, like for the goal setting part, you can email like recommendations for goals that y'all want to see or whatever, and then that could be added into the conversation.
Thank you. That works for me.
Great.
So I'll make a motion that we move our December 19th meeting to December 5th. All in favor?
Aye.
You have a second for?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. You guys are moving right along. So our YPAC annual report for city council, I did talk to see if we were, if we had anything to add. I'm under the impression that Commissioner Wolkoff, because she was our chair for the majority of 2024, she is starting to put that together. I'm not quite sure what she has in it, but there is still time if we have anything that we wanted to add to it. Or we could make sure that it's in it, just confirm that she has that in there. There's some things to highlight our 2024 activity. Herman, you were here for all of it. Anything jumping out at you?
No.
That Commissioner Wolkoff will do an excellent job, same as she did last year. Okay, so let's move into 2025. So in addition to the annual report, we also have to give a, to council on when we'll have our meetings. If we kept with the fourth Thursday of each month, the dates would be January 23rd, February 27th, March 27th, April 24th, May 22nd, June 26th, July 24th, August 28th, September 25th, October 23rd. November would be the third week, which would be November 20th, because the fourth week is Thanksgiving. And then same with December, it would be the 18th. Did any of those dates jump out to anybody? Or they know it won't work, or they know of something big that's going on? John?
The bylaws for the commission.
Can I open that for discussion? So 4 meetings a year would mean that we would hold quarterly meetings as opposed to monthly meetings. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, isn't currently, we have, the chief meets with us,
Quarterly.
is it quarterly?
It's gonna be
Is that every other
quarterly.
month? Okay,
To bring forth report.
okay.
About how much business do you have monthly, say over the last year?
This year, we were trying to put together a meeting forum in conjunction with the Human Relations Commission.
Mhm.
And so we were discussing a lot then. There is usually content, but I don't think that anything was so pressing that we had to be here every single month.
And in the possible realm of having YPAC meetings quarterly, John, correct me if I'm wrong, that doesn't eliminate the opportunity for special meetings should something pressing come up, correct?
So what do you mean by that? Like,
So like let's say
the,
Godzilla decided to destroy downtown Ypsi and the police had to respond in such a way and the community was in uproar about that. We could hold a special meeting then outside of our quarterly if it's a choosing of this body to go towards quarterly meetings.
who would trigger that? Who would,
Special meeting of the commission may be called by the chairperson or vice chairperson in the event the chairperson is not available, or any 3 members of the commission. Each member of the commission must receive at least 2 days' notice as to time, place, and purpose of the meeting.
So then we'll be meeting with like a strict purpose to
got you.
talk about whatever issue it is.
So generally, we'd be looking at 1 or 2 agenda items that could not wait for the quarterly meeting to be discussed and potentially things decided on then.
Sounds like that would work. As long as there isn't tons of business lined up that we're here, you know. I know city council will go till 12 if they need to. I prefer
No, sir,
avoid that.
absolutely not.
But yeah, if most of the meetings tend to be light, that would make sense for you guys, you know, if you're coming in for this. Yeah. It's easy for me.
You guys like the quarterly idea?
we can, call within, a couple of days,
Yeah.
some incident or some issue or some discussion that we need to have.
So let's think about when we would like to hold those meetings. Um, If we're doing quarterly, January, February, March, April, May, June. So if we start it in January, it would be the 23rd of January. And then moving on to April, it would be the 24th. Moving on to July, it would be the 24th as well. And then October, it would be the 23rd. January 23rd, April 24th. July 24th. And October 21st. That's every 3 months, isn't it? Maybe not. Thank you. These are just goal setting things. This is not something that we have to approve, vote on tonight, is it? This is just
For discussion.
for discussion going into 2025. But if y'all want to vote on and approve it, it's working for me.
Now, how did you get August? And may I still have,
Because he helped me count.
right? Because we get, if we do January.
January,
to
April.
Works for you?
Dates on, what we're doing for quarterly, like the dates.
Mhm. They are January 23rd,
Fine.
August. So January 23rd, April 24th, August 28th, and then December 18th.
Meets with us quarterly to provide the report. On January, he will be reporting on what happened at the end of 24.
At the final quarter of
Yes.
2024.
Yes.
Yes.
Then at the meeting in April, he'll go over January through March. In August, he'll go through April through July. And then on December, he'll do August through whatever's left. Right.
Correct.
Cool.
But our meetings quarterly like that, we would have more things to discuss, more community happenings. And like it was suggested, if there is something that is, urgent, we could hold a special meeting with 2 days' notice.
Fine with that? Second. You can make it a motion.
Because quarterly stuff just, I mean, this is still, I'm not settled, to be honest with you. Because if we talk about the business world, or if we talk about are you looking at the fiscal year and then going quarterly, or are we talking business world going quarterly? Because it depends on. January. And then every 3 months. We'd meet up. And then, so this doesn't jive with.
Give me some dates. Tell me what you're suggesting.
Where we were at the beginning. January. to
January.
April,
January to April?
April to July. Back around, then the chief would be, discussing what happened in the end of the year before. We're starting a new quarter. Does that make, you know what I'm saying? So this way, and he reports in December. So when is the next quarter start? 2026. Not that I should be looking at 2026.
Well, according
Trying to
to
keep
this
everything
format,
quarterly.
it will start up again in
By the-
January unless,
Well, not really, because if we had a meeting in December, you won't have a meeting in January.
but if you figure your December was your fiscal year end or your corporate year end or,
So we'd
So you
meet twice.
start quarterly meetings.
So we'd have two meetings. We have a meeting and then a month later we'd have another meeting.
Yes. And then you would do a quarterly again for that year. And then you would go into the next year.
That's starting to make sense, and that's scared me. So, but this is just a discussion anyways, right? We're gonna bring this back to, we're not voting on this yet, correct? Or-
you guys will probably vote on this at your next meeting because this is gonna be due. The entire report will be due on December 31st.
Okay.
So it has to all be wrapped up by your next meeting.
That would be my encouragement then. Kind of leave it and then get school off and Muhammad in here to kind of go, well, wait. Or, yeah, that makes, or we're good.
I think the dates you were suggesting would give us more time to prepare that report come 2025 as well. If there's an October rather than meeting in December when it's kind of like right on us. So yeah, that makes sense. Either way.
Any other additions that we want to put out there so that they can be either given to Commissioner Wolkoff for inclusion in the annual report?
If I'm not mistaken, did the resolution about secondary stops come from, it came from YPAC, correct?
Yes.
Add that in there.
What was the resolution?
So basically, asking or directing YPD to not pull over for cracked windshields, loud mufflers. Well, loud mufflers got taken off as a quality of life thing, but you know, just the regular stuff that happens to people's cars that in other places they would get pulled over for.
Right. Yep.
Sometimes in other municipalities, they're called pretext stops.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Makes sense.
Would like to add, get absolute clarification on the way the student committee member
Hmm.
can attend the meetings. Can they attend it via Zoom? Do they have to be present?
Hmm.
Because I'm still having discussions with, you know,
I think that since they're not a voting member,
Yeah.
they can attend via Zoom and participate in discussion.
that
That's just my,
I think that is where we
Common
left off
sense
at the
thinking.
conversation last time, I think.
Determined last time around that they couldn't do Zoom.
see, that's what I mean. I've been hearing a couple of different things.
I'm sorry, Mr. C4, say that one more time. Couldn't hear you. With the
he was under the impression that there was a discussion where they would not be able to attend via Zoom.
Which I don't know why not, since they're not
Not
a
a
voting
body.
member.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want them to join and then accrue a bunch of absences. You know, that would seem practical to let them do that. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Because that
So that is definitely something that,
needs to be clarified.
Clarified.
yes. So clarification on student attendance. Will we be revisiting the joint town hall with YC? Is that something that,
That's happening?
Hmm.
They have a date for that?
no,
Oh,
You're just wondering if we're gonna revisit whether
that
we're gonna
conversation.
attempt something like.
Yeah.
to do just a town hall, not necessarily
A series of them.
forum.
yeah, would that be
That's
one of the
what we were-
goals for 2025 going forward, to revisit that or turn it over completely to Human Relations Commission or revamp the whole thing?
That part of goal setting.
Get on there.
All right, what else we got? What about more visibility in the community? You know, they have things like a lot of nonprofits are able just to set up and be available to people. I know they do it at Park Ridge for the Summerfest. I know they do it at some of the things down at the Freight House.
What are you thinking about visibility of the?
Of the commission,
Or, that's what you're talking about?
yeah,
We should be more.
more available.
More proactive and I agree, really, seriously. And everything that goes on that's community.
Like we missed an opportunity when they had the open house. down at the police department, fire department. And we weren't there. When they had the big thing at Ypsi Community Schools in the parking lot with all of the different agencies there.
Peacenik.
Peacenik, we weren't there as a group. Just some thoughts.
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Might help raise participation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll add that.
I think there is a lot of political indifference, and being on the set could help with that.
Because one of our things that the commission is charged with is just building that community between our Ypsilanti residents and our Ypsilanti Police Department. And I think that that's what we're charged with. And so if we were there as a medium in those places, people will realize that, oh, there is a way that I can kind of get involved, but not really get involved.
And I also think that that would make it a little bit easier to be able to say if YPAC wants to do a joint event with HRC, or if YPAC wants to do their own event. I think will make it easier to get a gauge for the things that the community are concerned about as far as between them and the PD and whatnot. So yeah. So then we're not playing a guessing game.
What else we got, team?
To be added to this list is filling that Ward 1 seat. And I know it's just as much as my goal as it is everyone else's. So we're a joint effort with that.
Are we full? We have two
Two,
representatives from,
three. Excluding Eric, we have 2 Ward 2. But if we include Eric, we have 3 Ward 2, and then we just have you as Ward 1.
or
2 for 2, 2 for, well, excluding the chair, 2 for 2, 2 for Ward 3, and 1 you for Ward 1.
it's noted, sir. Commissioner Monroe?
Well, I think that all sounds good. I was reading just in the police advisory statute, something to the effect of gathering police complaints and statistics. Being the new guy here, is that underway, or are we supposed to be doing that?
That is something that we do. And it's also something in the chief's report where he lets us know of any complaints that they've taken. If we've taken complaints from the community at large, we discuss those here. And then there is also a system in place where residents can call, email, register complaints.
And that's supposed to be going, that's, the chief indicated that he has a, I would say program or.
Sure. Some sort of database.
Yeah, that, I'm thinking that's, I'm hoping that that information will be some of the information that we will have access to.
Mhm.
And for a minute there, he was trying to figure out how we could have access to it beforehand, right? Before the report, he's saying that we should be able to, dial in ourselves and be able to get that information. So I don't know where that has, if that's been completed yet. I'm wondering about that.
And the chief's, is that a quarterly report? Okay, so that's something we can look forward to here coming up.
Yes.
Great. And then the other thing I read was annual review of the Ypsilanti Police Department's Citizen Police Academy, which I wasn't aware that existed. I don't know what that is.
So the last person that I knew to actually participate in that was our chair, our former chair, Andy Fanta.
Okay.
And he did ride-alongs and,
Okay.
things like that. I don't think he went through the whole thing. I don't know if that's something Ipsy does. I think the Washtenaw County has a,
My sister-in-law
Program.
used to do Dipsy thing. Reserve.
did she?
Yeah, her and,
The
Mar-
training?
her and Marty both did it.
For training? They did the training for it? Or they participated in it?
They participated. in it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Something
Yeah.
we can dig into?
I had never heard of it.
What's the name?
It says Citizen Police Academy. Yeah, never heard of that. So it's all new to me.
Marty that works for the city both did it.
And is that like a volunteer firefighter type of thing where like you have extra people to?
Sort of.
Okay.
I'll ask my sister-in-law.
Right.
And then maybe it hasn't been a lot of information on it because we have been working very hard to rebuild our police department, getting it back up to our regular capacity.
Effective numbers.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that being the priority and this would be secondary to that.
Correct. But coming up for 2025, it definitely went on the goal sheet.
All right.
What you got for me? Commissioner Humes, yes.
So are you aware of higher do we have more police walking the beat in the city than we've had in the past because we have more officers now, even though I know we're still short, 8 or 9.
It may not be because we have more officers. It's probably more because there is a need. And
Definitely a need.
yeah, and it was only done at certain times in certain areas.
Police presence is there because of the crime rate, bottom line.
So that's when they show up. They show up because of the
They had over 800
just-
calls on South Washington alone last year. Over 800, almost 900 calls. Growing hope. They're needed.
Yes, that has been a topic of our discussion probably monthly.
The people I talk to that own businesses, that live around there, they'd like to see a bigger police presence as well, bottom line.
And I think that as we get more bodies, that is probably something that could definitely happen. Okay. Well, these will be in the minutes, these suggestions, these goals. Okay, wonderful. All right. Anybody online for public comments?
Hello, Commission. Thank you for being here tonight. What was that? It was a spider. I think it's from Bizarre. 3 minutes, huh? Taking away. I find it really strange that the chief is allowed to not be here at every single meeting on a monthly basis. I don't know how how that decision was made to allow him to only phone it in and come here on a quarterly basis, but there's a lot of stuff going on in our city that my constituents and your constituents are concerned about with the police. And to have him not be at half of the meetings that I've seen in the past, and then to openly state that he's only going to be here quarterly to do a report, I find that disturbing. There's a lot of things going on. I know he's going out and having chats with the mayor and with the city manager. But with what's going on, we need to have more regular communication with the public. And I think this body moving to a quarterly schedule is also problematic. I know that you guys have been working on things over the last years and struggling with the charge of this body, and whether it's an advisory meeting committee or whether it's oversight. But I think there's a lot of things happening that require, some folks being held to task, right? And coming up with ideas. The chief has been here for over a year, going on close to 2 years for this. And I think we need more reporting rather than less from him in a public setting. I like the ideas of you guys being out in the community and summer festival and things like that. I'm always working 2 or 3 tables at the summer festival. And so I think that's a great idea to have you folks out in there. So backing it off to quarterly meetings, it seems to be, I know that's the way it's written, but it's also seems to go against that, being the liaisons to the community and fostering that communication between the public and the police. You bring up good points about the student members and whether they can be here. They're not voting, but they are members, and so and I don't think there's any rule that says one way or the other with that. So that's an interesting point, which for other things as well. But I was watching the deliberations of the joint meetings with HRC, and those are anytime you get that large group of people together with 2 different agendas and doing that, it's really hard. And so I would encourage you to forge forward individually. And if it coincides with that, with their agenda, great. But I would encourage you to move forward with those public meetings on your own if it's not going to happen as a joint thing. So I realize I'm over. I'm happy to talk to you guys about this after.
Thank you. No one's online. All right. And do we have any announcements?
December 18th, 6 p.m. at Park Ridge is another community chat with mayor, chief, and city manager. December I think I said 18th, right?
It's 18.
18th, yes. Double check the city calendar, but December the 18th, 6 p.m. Park Ridge Community Center, community chats, mayor, chief of police, and city manager. That's all I got.
So how is that being advertised?
So it is on the city's website. The city's social media page or pages pushes that, advertises that out. I'm not too sure about any other ways of blasting that out there, but I know for those 2 for sure.
That was something that city council decided.
No,
They didn't discuss that at all. It was just.
that's mayor, chief of police, city manager.
So the original schedule that I had,
It was amended.
okay.
What's the venue for that in December?
Park Ridge Community Center.
So a little bit of response. Uh, Senator Wilcox and that. So that's been part of my, um, been part of my issue and concern is that, you know, if we come up with a suggestion
Mhm.
to do something like have a forum or have a town hall, it seems that we got to go through, jump through hoops and get the approval of city council to do something like that, to have a chat. You know, we'd love for us to chat with the community too and talk to them about kinds of things that we're trying to do and that kind of thing without, you know, having to go through, you know, hoops. It's not like we're, you know, trying to take over anything. We're just trying to communicate. We're just
Mhm.
trying to connect.
Mhm.
We're trying to help people to be aware of the possibilities of how this body, you know, can be helpful
Mhm.
in, you know, in the community with our police department. You know, so I'm just wondering how's that advertised, you know,
Oh, so say, so say YPAC decided, hey, we're gonna have an event on December the 20th. We have a venue, let's say it's the Freight House. No, not the Freight House. Well, say it's the Senior Center or Park Ridge, right? Um, we can then have that placed on the city website, as far as on the calendar, and then we can have the if I'm not mistaken, we can have that blasted out on the social medias and whatever other medium of
we
advertising.
would not need an approval to go through city council.
It would, if I'm not mistaken, we still have to go through city council.
Okay. But the mayor and the chief can do their thing without going to city council saying this is what we're looking to do. Because they're,
The mayor and the chief.
Yeah,
right, because
Right.
they're up here and,
I wouldn't say it's a up here and down here thing,
Well,
but I
come
get
on.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah,
more what?
more autonomy.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm good. I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it in my head how to. I want us to be an action committee, a committee that does things for the community, with the community, without, without having to, you know, get turned down because it costs too much or it's out of our jurisdiction.
And I honestly feel that that is something that we failed at miserably. Um, because we would plan these things and then instead of pressing onward, the first time we were hit with, well, you got to get this approved, you got to get this approved. Yeah, we're going to jump through a lot of hoops to do things. Um, so we really can't quit when, you know, we now understand how we get monies, you know, what has to be presented in order for us to get some of the monies that are available to us. Um, or how to go about getting certain venues for activities that we want to have and what has to be presented to council when, you know, because we can't wait till the last minute to do these things because there is a process and it is a process.
And to the point about like price and like the venue, um you can lean on the city owned venues.
Correct, like the Freight House,
Absolutely.
Probably get the freight house.
Absolutely. So really, if we, like I said, back to the example, if we were trying to do an event on the 20th next month, um, in reality, we would only have to really worry about, if we're gonna do that, we only really have to worry about food if we're trying to do that. But that would probably be what, a $200 thing.
For restaurants to donate food.
Could do that. Could do that. Yeah. But I do understand the point about jumping through hoops. I get it. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Commissioner Seifer? Any announcements?
What time? December 18th,
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Oh, 6 p.m.
Wait, huh? Ah, yes.
Where was that?
19th?
On the 19th, the DDA is doing the community chat with the DDA at 9 a.m. You said, John? 8:30. Thank you.
In the morning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one gonna be at the Freight House or is it gonna be at the office space? Back office?
Um, I know this is was just a conversation from earlier in the meeting about the quarterly thing. But with how it's laid out now, with January, April, August, and then December being the final quarterly meeting for the year 25, that would run hand in hand with the community chat because it starts at 6 p.m. and the meeting here will start at 6 p.m. So both events would be going at 6 p.m. on
Is
the
that the December 5th you're talking?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is for 25. Disregard everything I just said. It means nothing. Don't worry about it.
Is that why you see this
I lost.
confused look on my face like, wait, what
My
happened?
mind is thinking too much,
Head, thinking ahead.
way too ahead.
Okay, but bear in mind that none of this is set in stone. These are things that are going to be discussed in our December meeting. And as commissioners, you have a couple weeks to think about, do we want to do this quarterly? Do we want to do it every other month? Do you want to do it every month? Um,
Would it be possible for us to communicate with the chief or his higher ups there? Because I do think that his involvement would make these meetings more interesting and
I agree.
help with the, you know, help encourage community participation if he's here to answer some questions. I think that would be great.
It is something that we can suggest because, yeah, I was unaware of his quarterly visits. I know he wasn't here last month and not this month, but I didn't know why.
And I think also, if, if we're serious, and I believe, and I believe we are, that we could have some compelling thoughts and concerns around having a more frequent visit with him in terms of that information and how it impacts us directly, showing up at events, you know, being more involved with, letting the community know that we're here and how that make a difference in what's happening with the department itself. So,
Words, announcements?
I went to the chat at the Freight House and I'm looking at this and I'm wondering why we couldn't just ask to be one of the panel members. Have somebody from our group gather there. I mean, they have somebody from the county. They have the police chief, they have the mayor, and they have, the city manager. Hmm?
Who was the county representative?
I don't know who it was. It was, some lady that came down from the sheriff's office. Yeah. I don't remember her name.
Are these community chats something that we're looking to continue to do on a regular basis?
I'm not sure, if past the final chats, there's gonna be more. I would assume so. Um, but as far as I know, I'm not too sure on that.
Okay.
Very informative.
Sir.
Could we either end the meeting or suspend the rules that I participate in the conversation?
Do commissioners have any other announcements? Okay. And I make a motion that we adjourn our meeting for Police Advisory Commission at 7:59.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.